Hello and welcome to Gardening at 58 North. In this video I'd like to give you guys an update on my Dendrobium orchid here. So this is a Dendrobium nobile orchid. I got it a year or two ago. It had one stem, and in the last update I showed you it was growing loads of new stems and it was just starting to form flower buds, and now it's finally flowering. So I'm quite excited to show you this. It's got quite a lot of nice flowers. So it's not quite as good a display as I was hoping for, because it had so many stems. I was hoping every single stem would flower. But I think maybe some of these stems are just not quite mature enough, or maybe didn't have enough of a cold treatment or a dry period to make them all flower. But they've done pretty well, and I probably slightly overdone it with the dry period and the cold period, and I did that to try and get them all flowering, and they haven't all flowered, so I just made sure they were colder and drier. And once that's done, you can see the back one here, the pseudo bulb, which is the thick stem at the back there, has dried up and it's lost quite a few of the leaves. And even some of the other bulbs started to dry up. You can see this one here, it's put all its energy into the flowers and it started to shrivel slightly. It's not a major issue, but it's just a shame to let it get quite so dry. So I've started to water it again, and it's starting to perk up a little bit. But I need to rearrange the branches so it's more clear to see the flowers. So I'll just get going with that. I've just removed off some of these dead leaves from the back, and I'll just continue with rearranging the branches. So unfortunately there's not really a perfect front side. I've tried to make this other side the front because I have this old dead one at the back, but a lot of the newer growth here is kind of sheltering it a bit. I've rearranged it as much as I can to try and get them facing forwards. I also had the sun shining on it to get all these flowers facing one way. It's kind of worked, but some of them have kind of gone random directions. They're not all facing the one way. I was hoping for a really good display, everything covered, but I think that's the best I can do really. So I've spaced them out. This side does probably look the nicest, to be honest, if it wasn't for this stem here. So what I'll probably do, and I don't normally like doing this, but I'm going to cut this pseudo stem back. Now normally I would leave the old pseudo stems because they provide more energy for the flowers, but the fact that this one has shriveled up so much shows me that most of the energy has come out of this. And because I want to really see the flowers, you know, there's no point in having lovely showed flowers and you can't really see them properly. So I will take this out. As I say, normally I try and avoid this, but in this instance I'm going to remove it. So you can see there's two more down the bottom which have been removed in the past, and that's those two there. So I'm going to cut this down to a similar height, so there is a little bit of it left for storage. And because this one has flowered previously, it's not going to flower again, and as I say, it's very shriveled up, so most of the energy should have hopefully been used up by this, put into the new ones. So now I've chosen that as the front. I'll probably just give it a slight readjustment, because when I was adjusting it earlier I was adjusting it for the other side. There we are, I think that's much better. You can see the flowers much more evenly displayed. So I've got 3 stems which are flowering really well. I've got another stem here which has got some young flowers coming. You can just see there's a bud there. I've also got one at the back where there's some young flowers coming. But it looks like they're only going to have 1 or 2 flowers this year, so they'll probably flower well next year. So that's why I'm keeping them further back. But they'll hopefully bring the majority of next year's flowers. So there we are. I'm quite happy with that display, especially this is the first time that I've got my Dendrobium orchid to reflower. I haven't been looking after Dendrobiums very long, so I'm quite new to them, but I've really been happy with how well this one's done. I've also got some new growth coming from the bottom. So you can see there's one just down here. It's got some new growth coming. It's looking quite healthy. And as these flowers die off, I should expect some really very strong growth to come up. This one probably won't grow that big because it's still in the flowering phase, but once the flowers have gone, I should expect some really good strong some really good strong shoots to come up, and they will be probably as big as these existing ones, so hopefully it will look really nice. So there we are, that's my Dendrobium orchids flowering nicely this year, so I can put it in a nice prominent place so I can enjoy it. And with these Dendrobiums I find they do last several months, so hopefully I'll have 2 or 3 months of lovely flowers.